If you're having any problems with addictions, then this is a video that you should watch. My addiction starts from a very young age. And the reason for that is because, as I said before, I had ADHD and dyslexia. People that have ADHD, they usually have low levels of dopamine. Let me explain. Your body and your brain is producing a cocktail of chemicals. We're talking about stimulant, opioids, chemicals that are similar with the drugs that we usually take if we have an addiction. For example, if you have an ADHD and you have a low levels of dopamine, you're probably going to go into something like cocaine or crystal methamphetamine, maybe even Adderall, which is legal drugs. My addiction started when I was 15 years old. I was a really hype kid, and the first thing that I took was steroids. Now, if you never took steroids and you think, well, maybe that's not an addiction. I never heard about anyone having a steroid addiction. Let me tell you this, you have no idea. Steroids make you feel confident. They make you feel strong. They make you feel 10 times the man that you used to be. That is how everything started off me. And my steroid addiction, which started from 16 years old, brought me to my second addiction, which was sex addiction. Now, there is a huge difference between sex addiction and porn addiction. Those both are totally different things, but I'm not going to get into it right now. I'm going to say maybe another video. If you would like to hear the difference between those two, then comment below on this video. Moving on, in the age of 18, I already was very hooked up on steroids, which means I never stopped them. I was taking steroids 12 months, daily basis. A different type of steroids. Some of them was for humans, some of them were for animals. For people that are listening to me and they actually use steroids, you know exactly what I'm talking about, guys. Don't you? My steroid and sex addiction mostly brought me nothing but trouble. From the age of 16, I always wanted to preserve my body, so I wanted to look nice and sharp always. I was looking for a job that would allow me to gain enough money so I can buy steroids and to give me a good reason so I can stay fit and sharp all the time, all year long. And guess what that business was? If you didn't guess it, let me tell you. I became a professional dancer. When I say a dancer, Magic Mike dancer. You got that right. After my career started booming, at the age of 18 and 19, I was a very young kid and I was hanging out with all those people that were basically living in the street clubs. Then I got introduced to one and only cocaine. And oh boy, that's a huge mistake. First, you don't really understand the addiction when it comes to cocaine because it's a very psychological drug. You don't have any physical needs about cocaine. You only have mental cravings. And the hardest thing for somebody that is using cocaine or have a cocaine addiction is to actually accept that he has a cocaine addiction. After that, I started drinking alcohol. Why? Because everybody told me that with alcohol you can come down from cocaine. Pretty brilliant, right? Well, that didn't work because now I was taking steroids, cocaine, alcohol. But guess what? Now I was too high and I need to relax. Now I started using benzos. If you don't know what benzos are, basically is Xanax or Valium, depending on which country you live in. By the age of 27, I was non-stop, constantly using all the form of stimulants and opioids I could find. And it was also hard because I was trying to preserve my fame. You see, when you're a nightlife exotic dancer, celebrity, you have some kind of reputation. You're the party person. You are the party. Everybody expects from you nothing but less than that. And that was the stupidest decision I ever made. Until one day, something magical happened. A really good friend of mine, his name is Chris. He called me, invited me to his house. I haven't seen him for over 4 years maybe. Him and his wife, they had a peaceful life. They left the nightlife. They stopped basically dancing. And they went totally opposite. They went vegan. They went into meditation, into education. And basically they were purely Zen. A goddamn yogi master. I was very surprised because when I came to his house, I saw this enormous difference. I saw a person I never saw before. I never knew him. He sit me down and he talked to me about this interesting experience that he had with psychedelics. Now, if you don't know what psychedelics are, I'm going to explain that better in different detail. Long story short, what he did, he told me to watch a video about a substance that we, human beings, and every living creature produce called DM, which is dimethyltryptamine, and how beneficial that substance was. Of course, with the benefits that the substance gives you, there's also this tremendous anxiety that you're having during this experience. Every story I heard from a person, it was scary as hell. It's normal for the human brain not to be able to take something so easy because he doesn't know about it. However, thank God, I was bravely stupid enough and I did try the substance. Now let me tell you guys, this was something badass world. In less than 10 minutes, I had the most intense physical, mental, and spiritual experience that I ever had in my life. It was like dying and coming back to life. The entities that I saw, the hallucination it was absolutely insane. It was like I was shot out of the cannon. It was like an atomic bomb in my brain. And the crazy part is that after I did it once, my friend offered me a second time shot because it said that you have to do it 2 to 3 times in order to have better effects. And me, brave enough, I went for the second one. When the dose was a little bit more higher, I experienced so much love. My brain was constantly receiving millions of information per second. It was something out of this world. And that day, in 10 minutes, my life totally changed. After the experience, I got up on my feet, and it was like I was not even understanding where I am. All my programming, my basic programming that I have, which means how to eat, how to walk, how to talk, they have changed. It was like I was a computer and somebody pressed a reset button and now I have to reprogram myself and start learning all over again. I took a walk for at least 4 hours around my mother's house. And after I went home, I was so amazed. Single craving that I had until that day. And we talk about addictions that I have built through the years, from the age of 16 until the age of 29. There was just vanish, gone in 10 minutes. For 6 months after that, I never smoked a cigarette, I never had a drink, I never even thought about taking drugs, or I never even thought about sex. And that is the most amazing part, because I was constantly thinking about sex. My sex addiction was actually the worst addiction that I had. It was the reason that got me into all this in the beginning. After that 10 minutes, my life started all over again. And I was never the same person. I just want to say, you guys, I'm not promoting anything to you, and I'm not telling you to try anything before doing your own research. And if you want to do something, make sure that you have somebody that will guide you through this. I'm not promoting psychedelics. I am not promoting any kind of drugs. However, I am saying a story, a personal story of how psychedelics impacted my life in a positive way. And they changed me towards 100 times better man that I could ever be. If you want to learn more about psychedelics and different treatments and therapies that I have done after that one, comment on this video and follow for more value. See you soon.